Welcome to the LEC post-game lobby after the last day of the regular season with no tiebreaker matches. Well, we know all 6 teams in the playoffs and we will talk about them today. It is the most fitting thing and we're joined by Schalke and Field's representatives, Falco and BrokenBlade. It is a difficult PGL and I truly appreciate both of you sticking around from Game 3 waiting to have this conversation. And it's a difficult time, but before we talk about yourselves and Schalke, we do have to talk about the game we just watched. G2 played XL. BrokenBlade, it felt to me like XL had the game in their hands, and I'm going to ask you to look at this replay over there and talk to me when it goes so wrong and why it went wrong.
So when I was first looking at it, I think XL was doing great, right? I think they won the fight, but they just really greeded. I think they got really hyped up too much, and then they weren't accounting for both of their TPs of the solo laners, and then they got flanked. And
do you think, when you say not accounted, do you think it's forgot in the heat of the moment? Do you think just pushing, we can win? Like, take a guess for me.
I mean, from experience, at least from our like when we were playing in Schalke, it can get heated up and you can forget those kind of things, and then it turns to a disaster really fast, and it did in this game because Draven also had a really huge shutdown, I believe, in this scenario.
Yep.
And then the whole goal, I think they were up like 3 to 4k gold, and then they were like dead even after this. And after that, I think G2's comp is just better.
Dylan, from your perspective, when you watch this as a coach, what do you tell the players? Pretend you were XL's coach and feedback.
Well, it's kind of difficult for them because now their season is over, but I think a lot of it just has to do with being aware when you make a game-winning play that often the best play is actually just to press B and to reset all together, and you can just run on the map together with your tempo and kind of take the map from there. But sometimes in these really high pressure moments, in these sorts of games, it's so hard to revert back to what the team I'm sure knows is right, and you just end up overstaying a little 5-6 seconds too late, and that's what happens.
I mean, take a look at that difference. Plus 2.9k just after 20 minutes. I started to believe XL were going to do it. I started to believe XL were going to win for the second time in summer. Dylan, from your perspective, can you even empathize or imagine what it must be like being in the XL camp right now? For the 6th time in a row missing it, for the 2nd or 3rd time in a row being 1 game away?
At least in my time at Schalke, we've had so many splits that went down to like the very final game. And I know one time we had a tiebreaker match, for example, versus SK Gaming that we lost. We had to stay at the studio until I think it was 11 or 12 at night, and we were like praying we can just play the tiebreaker tomorrow, and then we played it. We were out of energy, we just lost, and our season was over. And I actually can identify with that. I know how it feels, and it's really crushing for sure.
And now on the other side, because of it, Vitality are in. How does it feel for Vitality, and what do you think the players are feeling right now?
I'm pretty sure it's like a huge relief. I think also a lot of people were hyping up Vitality, and now it's the best shot to show that against Fnatic. I think it's actually really going to be an exciting match, especially for Selfmade, because he's playing his previous team, right? So.
Well, hold that story. You're a natural analyst there. That's an exciting point. Okay, before we move on and talk a little bit more, key player of the game was Caps. He won 49% of the votes. That Lissandra pick into the LeBlanc was fantastic. A little bit later in PGL, we'll also reveal the full key player of the game leaderboard and get to celebrate that with, of course, BrokenBlade and Dylan. Now, I want to turn to Schalke 04. Spend a little bit of time talking about the history of the organization, and who better to be here alongside but a representative of the royal blue, which we have lit up the set for. And behind us, we will be playing several minutes of footage. And Dylan, you will be able to see this. I will actually have to look over our shoulders. I can't put it on that one, but watch it through there. Dylan, before you joined Schalke, I believe the footage we're looking at was when you think you were on the other side of the rift. I can't quite recall, but you played them as Fnatic's coach prior to joining them.
Yeah,
correct?
This is the 2018
there we go,
summer finals, and I was actually head coach of Fnatic at the time, and we played them in the finals. And yeah, I was on the winning side of that one, and then the next year I joined Schalke.
And of course, once you did join Schalke, we'll start seeing some of the players. What has the journey been like? Year on year, Schalke are going to leave their mark on the LEC, many memorable stories. What are some of the standouts for you?
I think like Schalke, to me, I was a part of it, of course, but I think had some of the most memorable ups and downs, I think, of almost any team over the past few years. We had 10-game win streaks, 11-game loss streaks, 7-game win streaks, 7-game loss streaks. We had the split where we tried to bring back Forgiven for a split and see what happens with that. We had the Miracle Run. We had this year, obviously, with it ending with like a horrible loss streak after our roster changes. I think, honestly, like, we had it all, both the ups and the downs, and I think that's kind of like the great part about competition, right? Is like you get to experience both the highs and lows.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. BrokenBlade, can I ask you a question? And I want a really honest one now. Okay, no PR, right? Schalke's leaving the league. What did you know? What did you feel? What do you remember about Schalke before you joined them?
Honestly, not much other than Abe was playing there, and obviously he's a very close friend of mine. I didn't really, when I was in NA at least, I didn't really pay much attention to EU, just because I'm not really the type of guy who watches a lot of games.
Yeah, you're gonna play. I get it. Yeah, you don't have to defend that. Trust me.
But yes, I mean, since I've been here, at least it's been a really big roller coaster for me as well. We obviously had a great achievement making spring playoffs when they never had made playoffs before in spring, but obviously being 10th place is
hard.
Not something that I've had for a very, very long time, and I think there was definitely stuff that I could have done better, but that I will take away for next time, and hopefully I'll be able to do it better.
I can appreciate that. It's really, again, it's a difficult conversation, and I can't thank you enough. Dylan, I'm going to come back to you, because something that BrokenBlade just said about Abadage, I think if I recall correctly, Schalke have had 27 professional players over the entire year that have started, right? 27 players, of which there are some very, very big names. I'm going to pull 5 of them up on screen behind us in a moment or two. But what has it like been for you, along the entire journey, having new players, having veterans? I just wanted to focus on 5 of them who sort of stand out. What are your thoughts?
At least for me, I joined the team this season that we got Abadage, and for I think almost all of it, he was our mid laner. So that's kind of, when I will think back, I think on Schalke, that's kind of the version of Schalke that I will remember. I think Gilius here is also a very special person to the Schalke org because he was part of the Miracle Run, but he was also a part of some of these original Schalke lineups from, I think, even before they qualified for the LEC. So although I wasn't there for that, he was like there before, and then he came back for like the Miracle Run and all of this. And of course, I guess Upset, and I don't know who else is on that list.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, there's 27 different names, right? There's huge. And now, of course, BrokenBlade will join the annals of Schalke, no fear. Slightly strange question, and this one's a little bit odd, I appreciate, but there's not very many opportunities we get to interview individuals where the organization is leaving them. Do you know what I mean? Or leaving a league, especially a league where you do have long-term partnerships. So what does it mean that an org is now leaving? What is your feelings on that?
To me, I'm not entirely sure because I think for some players, they join a team and they'll join for a split or they'll join for 2 splits, and then they will look for another team and they'll move on and they'll try and find better roster, or maybe a team tries to find better rosters.
Yeah.
But I've been there for 3 years. So I think like for these players and staff members that stay with an org for such a long time that, for example, it is at Schalke, it is kind of a loss for us because we're kind of like losing our home. We're losing what we've been with and been together for this entire 3 years. So,
Dylan, if I can also just bump your microphone. There's a fly on there. I don't want you to pence this up. So, yeah, thank you very much. Okay, now this is going to be a very, if that fly is landing, I will tell you, it's actually pence. I'm sorry, just hold. Can we get a single on Dylan? I know this is super BM. Don't move, Dylan. Oh. Please zoom in on the hair. I know this is ridiculous, but this is never going to happen in my life again. Yes! Thank you so much. You got rid of it. Anybody that watched US election coverage will understand what I just said, and I will get back to reality. BrokenBlade, it's a very difficult question, and the reason we're a bit distracted, there's huge rainstorms now happening. The clouds are crying for Schalke leaving. What does the road ahead look like? I realize it's early. I realize the split has just ended, right? But you've had a standout performance in a difficult summer. So what does it look like for you?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. I think this split was definitely really, really hard for me, especially mentally. I was really stressed, and I'll take this time to relax a bit and think about what I have to do better to be winning, and if that is to be a better teammate, if that is to be that I have to just be better as a player, then I have to try my hardest to achieve that. And
Yeah.
but I have high hopes for my future team, I guess, and hopefully, yeah. I mean, I don't really know because it's very early, right?
Yes.
So I definitely don't really want to watch any other more games because
Yeah. Take a break, dude.
I already told Dylan that when I'm out of a tournament, like when I was out at Worlds last year, which was very tragic, going 0-6, I can't really watch the tournament anymore because it makes me like really sad to watch it, you know, because I always feel like I deserve to play. I always feel like I always want to feel like that, at least that I am good enough to be participating in these kind of tournaments. And it just kind of, it's too sad for me to watch it, you know, so I just take the time off to relax, go to my family, and yeah.
Thank you for your honest response. It's a difficult question. I'm going to maybe make this hope a little bit more positive. I hope you have seen and felt the positive messages and commentary from the public on your performance individually. And if you haven't, I'm now telling you that is something that we've seen a lot. How does that feel for you after very low expectations coming from NA and then surprising many viewers?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of, it wasn't really my biggest fear, but it was definitely what people were expecting, that I was an NA player and I was playing for fun or whatever, or I was playing for or money or something. But it wasn't the case. I was always there to just win. Even on TSM, I had the mentality. I'm sure you could ask any player there. And obviously, right now we're 10th place, but I think individually, I think this was one of my best years that I've ever played. So I'm obviously really happy about that, and I will never stop until I'm the best. That is the way, that is my way of playing the game. That is my way of just playing League of Legends. And I will not stop until I'm there, you know?
I'm very, very happy to see a smile on your face. It's a little bit painful, but it's also, I agree with you, and I wish you all the luck. Before we move on with the rest of PGL, Dylan, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to ask, you know, now Schalke's time is done. The 2021 season is over. What message would you like to say to fans, to viewers, to anybody listening?
I guess just to say thank you to all the Schalke fans in particular. I think we've had one of the most passionate and hardcore fan bases of some of the orgs here. And I think part of that's because of some of the stories we've managed to create here. And I think it's very rare that orgs have a fan base that even when you go on these crazy loss streaks, they still support you and they still like believe in you. And that's always like the environment that I wanted on Schalke, and I'm happy. And I just want to thank the fans for continuing that as a fan base.
I'm very fortunate. From my little bit I know about Bundesliga, I think the football fans have to feel the same way. BrokenBlade, I'm going to ask the same question. Last opportunity to say anything to fans or viewers as a Schalke representative.
Yeah, I mean, same goes for me. I didn't play in Schalke as long as Dylan was there for Schalke, obviously, but I think the fans really, I remember there was a time where, actually it was before the Miracle Run last in spring, there were fans sending us really motivational messages, and that actually helped me a bit with getting back on track, you know, like doing 100% again, playing as much as possible and stuff like that. Obviously, I also have my Turkish fans that are always there for me, which I'm really, really grateful for, obviously. They're always there, and no matter if I do good or bad, and I will always cherish that because they were there since day one, and hopefully they will be there when I retire eventually one day, and I'm just very grateful for that, yeah.
Didn't prep this at all. Would you like to say anything in Turkish to your Turkish fan base? I sincerely hope you do.
Sure. Destekleriniz için çok teşekkür ederim. Çok memnunum League of Legends oynayabildiğim için. Gerçekten çok önemlisiniz benim için. Ondan çok teşekkür ederim.
Thank you very much. It means a lot. I personally love having regional languages on the broadcast, celebrating everywhere we're from, so thank you very much. We're going to say goodbye to Schalke. We do have a few other topics to talk about, and graciously, Dylan and BB have said that they will stick around and help me answer a few of them, and we obviously have to turn our attention to the final summer standings. Let's take a look at championship points distribution, which decides our seeding for playoffs. Rogue ended first in the regular season, also secured first seed in playoffs. Mad second, G2 third, and Misfits are fourth. Now, Rogue selected Misfits, and that means G2 will be playing Mad, Fnatic will be playing Vitality, and Rogue will be playing Misfits. The games will be played out. Rogue Misfits Friday, G2 Mad Lions Saturday, and Fnatic Vitality on Sunday. So this is the bracket, okay? BrokenBlade, I want you to look at this bracket, and I'm going to ask you seriously on who you think is the better team to predict the entire bracket start to finish.
You want me to predict everything?
Absolutely. Let's go. Rogue versus Misfits. Who's going to win?
With explanation or just...
I'll take as much explanation as you're willing to give me, my friend.
Right. I mean, I have my favorites in this bracket. I think it's definitely Rogue and G2.
Okay.
But for the Rogue and Misfits match, I think there's definitely a chance that Misfits can surprise. But I think the clear favorites are obviously Rogue. Just because their control style, I think that's how they always win. And if they get the good champs on bot lane, if they get the pushing bot lane. And
so, Rogue and G2 win in the top. I'm hoping we'll be able to update this, but again, I'm not certain we can. Oh, I love your production. Now, Fnatic versus Vitality. Who is going to win that matchup?
I'm not sure. It's definitely going to be a really exciting match, I think. I think it's going to depend on actually the mid jungle.
Okay, I'm going to do something first, just for production. Give me the prediction first, and then give me your reasons.
All right, I think it's going to be a close match, but Fnatic is going to win.
Okay, now please tell me a little bit more why, because do you think it's consistency? Because I'm expecting a bloodbath in this game.
I think it's consistency. I think Niski and Bwipo are just playing really well. I think especially Bwipo has been performing surprisingly for everyone, I think. But he's been doing really good, and I think he also has a pretty good champion pool just because he played a lot of champs on top lane and he played a lot of champs in jungle. So he's very flexible with that, and I think Niski is... he came up with the Casio before anyone else. I think he has his counter picks, especially against Leader, who plays a lot of melee champs. I think he's going to be prepared for that.
Okay. Okay, so look, then in the interest of time now, round one, where was the most juicy stuff that we got for next week, I need to know who you think is going to win. And then Dylan, I want you to check his homework, okay? So, let's go with the next few matchups. Misfits Fnatic, who's going to win, and Rogue G2, who's going to win. And you just need to give me names now. I don't need context.
All right. I'm going to say that I think Fnatic will win again.
Okay, so Fnatic win. On the top, G2 versus Rogue. Oh, that's hard, isn't it?
I think G2 will win.
Okay. That will then give us Mad versus Fnatic, and the winner will face Rogue. So, who's going to play there? Mad Fnatic?
I think Mad will win that.
Mad Fnatic, right? So then that's Mad Rogue to face G2 in the final. So you're going for those like top three.
And wait, then now it's Rogue against.
It'll be Mad Lions. The graphics are updated in a moment.
And I think that game will be Rogue.
Rogue. So G2 Rogue final is the prediction right now. And then you're saying. You're going to say G2's win, aren't you? You're not going to pick Rogue.
I can't really say who will really win, but if I bet my cards on who has like the clutch factor, I think it's G2.
Okay.
Rogue is probably the better control team.
Right.
So if they don't let G2 do their thing, I think Rogue will win. And if G2 does their thing...
I thank you so much. Thank you so much. You are the first person that has verbalized what I feel. That X factor, the intangible, the clutch thing. Yeah. You can't explain it. Nobody on the broadcast team gives me the time of day when I say this. No, that Rogue is the better team. You know, like Misfits have a little bit of that, but way less powerful. Okay, check the homework really quickly. What do you think of his bracket?
Okay, so just like in general about playoffs, my thoughts are, I think Rogue is the best team going into playoffs. I think they played the best in the regular season. And like BB said, they have the most consistent, repeatable play style where they have pushing lanes, they get ahead, and they close the game. G2 obviously has a clutch factor as well. I think the biggest wild card of the lower teams has to be Fnatic. I think this is a team that can show up in 3-0 or 0-3 any day of playoffs.
Blows my mind. The thing of the lower bracket teams, Fnatic and Vitality are there. Like,
yeah, it's a banger.
That
for sure.
is the most surprising thing of this entire play. I know Misfits are up there, but it is more surprising that Fnatic and Vitality are 5-6 than Misfits are 4.
I really want to see that series, like Selfmade playing against Fnatic. Like it's going to be a fun one.
The story's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, one last thought before I move on. BrokenBlade, you know, do you have a little bit of experience and knowledge of Armut, of course? Armut is a player that we are now discussing and looking at. He's not had the greatest summer. He's not had the same level of impact, and you just predicted him to place third, just throwing him under the bus like that. What do you think Armut is doing well or not well, especially as his lane opponent as well?
I actually talked to him about it, right? He's like,
so you just call him up, it's like, you're shit right now. What's happening?
No, he was actually saying that he wasn't playing that well. but he's gonna smurf in playoffs. That's what he said. It's his words. I'm definitely going to cheer for him, right?
Hopeful. Not enough to predict him to win, but you will show support.
Yes, but I think
I need to make the drama now.
I think Rogue and G2 are just better
That's
team.
fair. I think that's fair.
But I think they also do have like a little clutch factor. I think Carzzy just popped off on Draven. Obviously, it wasn't that serious of a game, but there's definitely some.
Thank you very much. I didn't quite prepare BrokenBlade for how much talking you'd have to do here. You nailed it, dude. Now, throughout summer, everybody at home has been voting for the Kia Players of the Game. At the end of the day, only one person can lead the leaderboard. And congratulations to the fan favorite, the one and only Vitio. He manages to pick up 6 Player of the Game victories over Inspired, Humanoid, and Selfmade at 5, Marcoon sitting at 4. Congratulations to him. I'm sure the social media channel for Misfits will be having the widest smile face and one of the most terrifying photoshops, yes, ever. They expand that wider and wider. I want to lead that into the next one, and Dylan, because BrokenBlade's spoken so much, I'll give him a break. Who do you think is the Summer Split MVP?
Oh, wow. I think it probably should be someone from Rogue. I think Inspired would be the easy one.
Okay.
I think he's kind of like the core of that team, and it's his pathing and his ability to play the map well that kind of gives that to them. But I find it hard to pick a particular person from Rogue, so it could go to other people as well, I think.
I get what you mean. And when we look at the rookies, in my mind, Marcoon is a front runner for sort of rookie of summer. Look at some of the other names. Who stands out in your mind?
Definitely Marcoon. I think he's really playing really well. He doesn't play like a rookie. It kind of it looks like Elioya when he first. I mean, this last split, right? He's really smurfing as well, and if you have like the same kind of vibe from Marcoon, obviously I think there's also other rookies. I think Adam is playing really decent as well, but not as impressive as Marcoon. I think he's been doing really good decisive plays, and I just really like to watch that or see that as a rookie, you know.
Yeah, absolutely the case. BrokenBlade, Dylan, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for leaving us with such fond memories despite how difficult the year has been, and best of luck in both of your futures. I sincerely hope to see you again very, very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And that is it from us tonight. Make sure you stay tuned for LCS and TSM versus Dignitas. Thank you for following throughout the regular season. We are done for summer. We'll see you back in playoffs. 6 teams remain. 3 go to Worlds. August 13th on Friday, the night before my birthday. LEC Summer Playoffs! And welcome to Berlin, Germany for the final day of Super Week. The race for playoffs is nearing an end.
No more second chances, one shot, one opportunity. Whoever loses will end their 2021 season right now. This is it. Astralis versus Vitality.
Flash is still available. Flash forward, Blade through and King multi-man knockup. As well as Crownshot getting that final hit. Jinx 1-0 with a CS advantage. A stolen dredge line from Selfmade sets up that double for Crowny.
Crowstorm to come through though.
Crowstorm into the culling.
Oh, no.
Perfect execution. 5-point shuriken. Zanzora is not in this game right now. Crownshot gets excited again. Jeskla for the triple. Crowny. Astralis' 2021 season is done. They made it entertaining, they made it fun, but Vitality keep their playoff hopes alive.
And I think you're absolutely right. They're here to make that statement game we talked about. And they're not even done.
No, not at all. Get a nice treat for Hans Summer. Fly over the wall with the lovers duo.
Got it, baby! That's a shutdown. Whirling Death living up to its name. Kale has no mana. Carzzy now stepping forward. Oh, it's the T1 special. First blood on a no mana 80 carry. Carzzy grabs it.
Draven as well. You have no mana.
For XL, can they surprise the planet and take down G2 for the second time in the regular season and make their first ever playoffs? It does not get harder than this.
Caps. Flash forward, looking for a bit more. Trying to find the lockup. He's been locked by the
Tap's gonna die.
Caps going down. Patrick. Where is he going to use it? He's going for it. He's going to use it on himself. Patrick, no mana, but he's got axes. Maybe, just maybe, he cannot do it. They're going to go for the kill. They've shut them down. They've obliterated Excel. It's a massive throw. Excel saw it all right in front of them, and they threw it all away. And Excel, for the 6th split in a row, will be denied playoffs as G2 secure the spot for Vitality.